Haaland becomes one of the most expensive FPL assets in the history of the game. Trent Alexander-Arnold finally gets his price rise, and both Son and Bruno Fernandes can now be considered viable FPL options in this season's game. We're going to be discussing all of the FPL price releases that we got today in detail. First things first, welcome to the FPL Fan YouTube channel. My name is Callum, aka FPL Nacho, and it'd be amazing if you can join the community this year and hit that subscribe button. Some of you may know that this channel was around a few years ago. I am back with it for this season. I cannot wait to get going, so make sure you do hit that like button and smash that subscribe button. These videos are going to be super quick and to the point where I get to answer any of the hot topics, and in this scenario is going to be the price reveal. So first up, we have got the forwards, the notable forwards that got released today in Nkunku, Watkins and Erling Haaland. Now let's get straight to the point here. Erling Haaland comes in at one of the most expensive prices we've ever seen at 14 million. Does that put me off him? Absolutely not. There is not a world that I would go without Erling Haaland. You can see the opening fixtures there with Burnley, Newcastle at home and Sheffield United away. At 14 million, I still think that is a fantastic price for a player that is breaking all records in this Man City team. Realistically, if you want to go against him, I think it's a really risky play, especially when he is a viable captain in both game weeks 1 and 3 in particular. Yes, Haaland's expensive, but he's worth it for your teams. Now, a player that did also get a price rise was Watkins at Aston Villa. Now, at 8 million, I still think he's really good value. I think Unai Emery's team is going to be fantastic this year with some of the additional signings that they've made. But at 8 million, with the structure that we might be looking this season, it might be very difficult to accommodate an 8 million forward alongside someone like Erling Haaland. And with a tough game away against Newcastle to open the season, I think it's a wait and see on Watkins to see whether he does retain the form that he had from last season. But the one that I'm really excited about is Nkunku at Chelsea, 7.5 million. Now, a rule of thumb that I have is I never buy new players to the league, and this is going to apply the same to Nkunku. But with fixtures like Liverpool at home and West Ham away, a brilliant opportunity for us to sit back as managers, see how he gets on in this new Pochettino team. And if he does hit the ground running, maybe in game week 3, it's an opportunity for us to jump in on Nkunku. But for now, 7.5, have him on your watch list, but I wouldn't bring him in for the opening game week at all. So next up, let's move into these Liverpool assets. Now, what I love about the Liverpool announcement is, yes, Mo Salah is 12.5 million. Yes, he is a fantastic option, but it's going to be so interesting to see how we fit both Haaland and Mo Salah into our FPL teams. I think the structure is going to be very difficult this year. Does it mean I'll go without him? Maybe not, but it is worth noting the opening fixtures away against Chelsea and away against Newcastle in game weeks 1 and 3. Could see some managers go without him. Would I? Probably not, but I need to see the rest of the prices to see whether there are some amazing value players out there. For now, he would just make my team, but again, things can change. But the big talking point right now off the back of the fixtures and the announcements is Trent Alexander-Arnold coming in at 8 million. He finally gets his price rise that we've all been talking about. Classic scenario where we all said, how is he still 7.5? He comes to 8 and now we all moan that he's 8 million. Is he still good value? I absolutely think so. If he does deploy in this box formation that Klopp is going to play alongside someone like a Fabinho, he will be much more creative than what we saw last season. And yes, 8 million is steep, and Robertson is only 1.5 million cheaper, but I still think I need to go for someone like Trent into the team. And then if he doesn't show the class that we know he can, we can drop down to someone like Robertson in the opening game weeks rather than going from Robertson up into Trent, which could be a very difficult way of structuring your team. Other notable players, McAllister coming in at 6 million, not an FPL option in my eyes right now, even though he will be deployed at the top half of that box formation that they play. I need to see more from him to understand whether he is a viable asset. But the one that I do love is the donkey of last year, Darwin Núñez, at 7.5 million, coming in at the same price as the likes of Nkunku. I think with Liverpool playing the new signing, which I'm not even going to bother pronouncing, from Leipzig, and McAllister, I don't think they necessarily need someone like a Gakpo to drop into the number 9 and the 10 roles to be a false 9. I think Darwin Núñez is going to get his time as a forward, and if he does at 7.5 million, we could see him be a fantastic option. But I want to see him in the opening 3 fixtures, see if he does actually get into this team of Klopp's, or whether he is going to be a bench player that comes in from time to time off the left or down the middle. But with Liverpool, I like Salah. I just need to see the rest of the players. And Trent right now is a lock in the team. I would rather go for him than Robertson at 1.5 million cheaper. But there's definitely a debate to be had. Sorry to interrupt my own video here, but my Discord channel is now live. Link is in the bio. Totally free. An opportunity to engage with other FPL managers out there. It's the go-to place to be. I'll be in there 24/7. Go check it out. Right then, so moving into the premium midfielders that we've had announced so far. And Odegaard is the Arsenal asset that we've had at 8.5 million, a natural increase from the performance that he had last year. Probably the most well-rounded Arsenal midfielder of the bunch from both a goals and assists perspective. Now, the opening fixtures for Arsenal are fantastic with Forest, Palace and Fulham in the opening three. I think we need to go triple up on Arsenal. And Odegaard at 8.5 million suggests to me that Martinelli will be likely very similar and Saka slightly more expensive. I think it could be the year where we go for a combination of maybe Odegaard and Martinelli in the midfield like we done last year. I like Odegaard. He's going to play every minute. We'll see on the Arsenal announcements, but 8.5 seems really fair for him. But the one that I cannot believe has come in is Bruno Fernandes at 8.5 million. This one is a steal. I think he's going to be creative as ever in this Man United team. With the opening fixtures that they have, I really think we need to accommodate him in our teams. And it could be a situation where you go without Mo Salah in your midfield and bring in a cheaper option like Bruno Fernandes, who can be equally as creative as Salah on his day. I really like him at 8.5 and one that I will be structuring in my team and seeing how it pans out. And another which thankfully has had a price for, and a significant one, is Spurs' Son. Now, we had note last season in the pre-season that he was injured, and it got confirmed in this pre-season. He was injured for about 8 months. 9 million for someone like Son under a new manager could be absolute gold dust. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can produce in this new side with the likes of Maddison feeding him alongside Kane. For me, again, can I justify 0.5 million more than Bruno Fernandes? Probably not. But if he does hit the ground running, maybe in game weeks 3 onwards, we can start looking at those Spurs assets. But for now, I would prefer Odegaard and both Bruno Fernandes in my team. Now, moving into the 6.5 million midfielders, we've had some significant players announced in Eze, Mbeumo and Mitoma. Now, the really interesting one is Mbeumo coming in as a midfielder. Played a lot of time up front alongside Tony last season. Really interested to see him come in at 6.5 million as a midfielder. It means he's going to get an additional point for a goal and clean sheet. And I expect him to play in that front three or front two again this year. And I really think we need to have him top of the tree as our 6.5 million midfielder. I know Mitoma was fantastic last year and his fixtures are incredible. And I'm not to saying Mitoma isn't a bad pick at all. But I think Mbeumo has that really high ceiling that we could see from a midfielder this year. Eze would be my third pick. The fixtures are okay, but with Arsenal at home and Brentford away, they're not the most appealing compared to what we see of Brentford and Brighton. So if I had to rank the 6.5 million midfielders right now, surprisingly, I'll probably just have Mbeumo number one, but I want to see what this Brentford team does over the pre-season period and whether they sign new players. Mitoma second and Eze third, but it's worth noting, I think both Mitoma and Mbeumo in particular are significantly underpriced, and these two could even be both in your midfield as a nice pairing alongside of Bruno Fernandes to accommodate the premiums like Haaland and Trent in your squads. But I like the 6.5 million midfielders right now. And last up, you're probably wondering, why is there a Luton slide completely dedicated to them when we all think that they could be the derby of many, many moons ago? The reason being is in that bottom corner, Bell, 4 million defender. We finally had a 4 million defender announced and a player that played significant game time last season in the Championship. Does that mean he's definitely going to start this year? I don't have a Scooby-Doo. But it does mean we have an option for our teams, and 4 million defenders are gold dust in this game. And if we get one that starts week in, week out, we could see a situation where Luton basically say, we're going to lose against Brighton away, we're going to lose against Chelsea away, or maybe not, and we're going to lose against Fulham away, but we're going to make the home ground a fortress. And we could see him be a very, very good option. Again, Who knows? It's early doors, but this is the reason why we need to consider Luton, a 4 million defender in Bell. Outside of that, I can't lie to you. I don't know too much about Luton, but I will be spending this preseason doing a bit of research, talking to some contacts who are fans to get a bit of a lowdown on which players are worth considering for our teams. But for now, Bell is the one at 4 million that we need to keep our eyes on. So guys, that is going to wrap up the first video of the season. I'm so looking forward to this season, getting going with these videos. The plan is to be doing 3 videos a week, and it'd be amazing if you could jump on board this season and hit that subscribe button. We've got so many videos coming out, including daily shorts. And again, as I mentioned, the Discord channel is now live. Please do check that out, get involved. It'd be awesome to have you part of the community this season. That just leaves me to say, have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Cheers.